We're live at the Miami Book Fair, powered by Life Improvement Radio and the Toll Education Network, tolltutor.net for more information. Twitter, Toll Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook. So we want to welcome the program another author, and I know this is a topic I'll definitely want to talk about, Kate Becker, author of My Dream Playground. Kate, thanks for coming by the studio.
Well, thank you, and I'm smiling already.
See, job accomplished, Neil.
because I'm enthusiastic, right? Not a dry interview where I have a monotone voice. No, that's not me at all. So, Kate, how are you enjoying the book fair? This is one thing I love about authors. There are a variety of people, but one thing their big goal is the love of reading and entertaining their readers, and that's probably what you saw from getting to talk to all of them.
Absolutely, right, and Kate? The people that are here at the book fair are book lovers and kids who are discovering books. So it's been an incredible experience.
It truly is. I'm hoping that my whole family can come out to Miami at one time. It just depends on scheduling and different things like that. My wife's expecting our fifth, so Kate, it's not going to be. Maybe next year we could get someone to watch all five, and my wife and I'll go out to Miami. But every year, I at least know I'll have Eric there to power me in St. Pete. So let's go specifically enough, Kate, to My Dream Playground. You talked about Kaboom a little bit off air and stuff like that. So tell us about My Dream Playground.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your fifth child on his or her way. Obviously, I'm guessing that you spend a lot of time at playgrounds. And
yes, I do.
Kaboom is a nonprofit that was founded 17 years ago, and we believe that children are losing their childhoods, and we're working hard to make sure that kids get the childhood that they deserve. And we specifically focus on the 16 million children who live in poverty. And we work to make sure that children, that adults are promoting and protecting play, and that children are getting the active play that they need. And My Dream Playground is a book about the first build that Kaboom did, and it was in Washington, D.C., and there was a 7-year-old girl named Ashley, and when our founder and CEO, Daryl Hammond, showed up to measure the site before they even announced to the community that they were getting the playground, this little girl came running up to him, and she just knew that he was going to build a playground for her, and she had drawings she'd done with her crayons up in her apartment, and she ran upstairs and got them and brought them down and showed them to our founder. And Ashley's story is a very special story because it's the founding story of Kaboom, but there are a lot of Ashleys out there who don't have access to a great place to play, and we're working to solve that problem in all across the United States.
Now, Kate,
including in Pittsburgh.
That's amazing. Kate, I'm sorry, go ahead. Eric. I was just saying, I see in the notes here, does it say that all of the proceeds from your book go to build further playgrounds for Kaboom?
That's accurate. So all the money that anybody purchases a book, the money will come back to Kaboom so that we can continue to work on what we want to see happen in the world.
That's amazing. That really is truly amazing.
Thank you.
And we see the importance of play and how it's been lost, and that kids don't get to go on playgrounds. They're involved in video games all the time and really don't get that the interaction. They're constantly on a screen instead of getting exercise, which leads to obesity, and also less socialization and fun. Because if they're not having fun, it's terrible.
When you look at academics in the United States, we're declining compared to other countries. And you look at the obesity issue and the issues that our children are facing, and you're right, kids are on average getting 7.5 hours of screen time, and they're not getting the outside unstructured play that we think is critical. We actually think that all kinds of play is critical. We think team sports is important. We think reading is important. We think imaginative play is important, and we think physical active play is important, and we're working to try to make sure that physical active unstructured play is an area that Kaboom is specifically focused on, but we are working to make sure that kids get that full balance, because that full balance, we think, helps that child to grow up to be a productive adult. And 21st century skills are important, and that's critical thinking, collaboration, communication. Much of that is learned on a playground. You picture two kids at the top of a slide. They both want so badly to go down next. they have to negotiate who gets to go down next. And once a child gets to go down first, the child that gets to go down first has to figure out how he or she is going to deal with that, and the child that has to go down second figures out how to deal with that. And those are playground rules that you learn, and a lot of it is social, it's physical, it's cognitive, and all of that lends to helping a child grow up to be a productive adult.
Absolutely. And Eric, it's something that, again, we're missing. We're missing the opportunity for kids to play.
We are.
Missing them to learn how to share. We're missing just all these things so that they go out and go on the playground for recess for 20 minutes. They have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
None. And it leads to issues because then there's difficulties on the playground so they're not having those everyday playground opportunities.
And because there's difficulties on the playground, unfortunately, schools are cutting recess. And 50% of kids who are low income are not getting access to recess. And even schools that still have recess have cut it to about 10 minutes. So it's becoming a more and more critical issue all over the country, but we continue to ignore it. And so that's what Kaboom is focused on. And, the beauty of Ashley's story in My Dream Playground is that she got the playground that she was dreaming of, and she got to watch her mother and her neighbors in her community build that playground for her. And so that's a child's dream becoming a reality, and at the same time seeing the adults in her community stand up and do something for her, and that's what we hope to see more often.
Okay, we're talking to Kate Becker, author of My Dream Playground, on the Total Education Network Authors Corner, powered by Life Improvement Radio, live from the Miami Book Fair, hour 11 and a half, and I'm with Eric Bremmel. And Eric, I think it's so important for people like Kate to get this message out and to tell people we need there to be playgrounds and access to playgrounds for all children.
We do. And, Kate, how's the response been from parents? Have you had any feedback?
Well, it's interesting because when we talk about the importance of play, almost everybody nods their head that it's important, and yet like I mentioned before, we're seeing recess get cut. And there's actually a true story of what happened in New Orleans about a week before Katrina hit. There was two different school board discussions, and one was on the lunch program, and the other was on recess. 600 parents showed up to the board meeting that focused on lunch. And they spoke up and they had an interest in it, and the school board took notice. And then for the meeting about recess, only 3 parents showed up. And so they cut recess without consequence. And that's where, while most parents and most adults will nod their head that they think play is important, they aren't taking the action to protect it and promote it. And I think when people think about how important play is to a child's development, and that kids aren't getting the play that we all got when we were kids and growing up. And I would come home from school and throw my books down, and I would be outside until dinner time. And, I was able to roam my neighborhood in a way that kids today, for the most part, can't or aren't allowed to. And that is having a severe consequence on creativity of kids, leadership skills of kids. As I mentioned before, the 21st skills that are needed for a child to be successful as an adult, they're not learning that, and it's having a pretty severe consequence.
Just to touch on what you just said, when I was a kid, I mean, literally, I had a bike, I had a skateboard, I had a baseball mitt. We didn't have cable TV, we didn't have video games, we didn't, we just went out and had fun, rode our bikes till dark, and that was our form of entertainment.
And you probably did pick up games where you made up some of the rules yourselves, and always following the baseball rules, and just got to be able to create your own fun, and that is something that's lost with a lot of kids today.
Exactly. We've become so technologically advanced that it's more harmful now for a child, at least in his eyes, to put down a iPad or an iPhone and go out and actually ride his bike. Why would he want to do that when he can play games right on his iPad? Exactly.
So there's a lot of competition for kids to get that play, and so parents, we're asking parents to help to prioritize it, and it's not just parents; it's any concerned adult in a community can take action. And we have on kaboom.org, we have a map of play, and people can find play spaces near them, but they can also upload information about play spaces near them and ask for a play space that they think needs to exist in a neighborhood where one may not. And so there's an opportunity for people to share information in that way as we continue to work on this. And we're working with cities through a program called Playful City USA program, because we also think that cities are a great opportunity to increase play for kids and trying to make normal cityscapes more playful and more fun.
Well, Kate, I'd love to have you on just to talk about Kaboom. So I did follow, I guess, the founder of Kaboom on Twitter, so we'll definitely try to have more of another conversation again at another time in another place to more put the education basis into it, more for my education show than my author show, because I have a variety of different shows on the network, and that's the fun thing based on creating themes and stuff like that. Your ultimate goal with the book is really for parents to understand that there has to be a place for kids to play, right? And
yes, exactly. And the book is, Ashley had a dream, and she believed in her dream, and her mother encouraged her to believe in her dream, and then it happened. And so it's also about kids' dreams.
Well, and kids' dreams are so important, because if we don't have dreams and we don't set our goals high in life, and we're missing out completely. So I appreciate you coming by. Kate, where can we buy the book, purchase the book, and learn more about you?
The book, you can link to places that sell the book on kaboom.org. Any of your favorite bookstores should have it. It's on Amazon.com as an example. So it's out there, and kaboom.org can link you to locations as well.
Well, fantastic, Kate. Thanks for coming by, and best of luck to you.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you, too. All right, you're listening to Author's Corner on the Total Education Network, powered by Life Improvement Radio, and we'll be back in just a moment.